Hi and welcome to Dare to Dream on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, radio, TV and podcasts, the number one internet singles talk network show. I'm Reverend Graham, and if you look there, you've got all the connections, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, more shows, Roku and Amazon TV. We're all over the place. And today's show, because I'm really shifted, I'm full of energy, is shifting unwanted baggage. I've experienced a lot of things in my life. I'm a retired Navy person. I've been married twice before. I've been shot at, held up at gunpoint, been in 3 major car accidents. My best friend took my warship, never came back from the Falklands, held a bomb that should have gone off. All these things happened to me. The emotional baggage that I carried for a very long time. And being a medium, I found I can't do that. How can I help other people to understand themselves if I don't understand myself? I've had to look into my past a lot over the last 60 years, nearly 70 years. And I found a lot of it is unnecessary. You say, oh, but you can't do this, you can't do that, because of what you did. What you did in the past. But what's made me what I am today is everything in my past that I survived. I've survived all those traumas, all those heart-wrenching, emotional situations. I've just got a very best friend who's found out her mother-in-law died the last couple of days. And my heart goes to her and the family. But that's her dilemma. I'm there to support her. All those dilemmas I went through, I had various people supporting me as best I could. But because I'm the medium and I'm empathic and I've got a lot of gifts, you'll sort it out, Graham. You'll manage on your own. You always do. Yeah, I always do. But since I've been married to this wonderful lady, Sandy, 22 years, when I met her on the internet back in June of 2001, I was doing Pal Talk readings on a Monday, and she came in 5 minutes before the show ended. I started the reading. I told her I couldn't finish reading because it normally takes 10 to 15 minutes, but I'll be back in 2 days on the Thursday. And I did. I came back. She came in, finished the reading. And I said, if you want to talk, I'm here. Well, that was June of 2001. Until December the 17th, we talked just about every single day. And I knew with this lady, I couldn't hide a single thing. I didn't want to. I wasn't going to. We tore into those facades, those emotional walls that we put up to protect ourselves for 6 solid months. And when I came over here, I asked her, before I got to see her physically, I said, there's 2 things I would like to do, is give you a hug and give you a kiss. And she said, okay. My toes are still curling from that kiss. It felt like coming home. And ever since that day, every barrier I ever thought I got rid of, or some that I didn't know about, have disappeared. I'm lucky. Not everybody is as lucky as I've been. I realize that. But as a medium, my job is to uplift you, the listener, the viewer. When I do readings, my job is to uplift you, to make you feel better than what you were when you first sat down in front of me. Emotional baggage, the shifting of it, is bringing it into your conscious thoughts. all that pain, all that heartache, all the anguish, the sadness, the anger. You've got to face it all. And the only way to face it is being honest with yourself. Life's not easy. People screw it up. It's a phrase I learned a long time in England. But I also learned this one. We are spirits having a human experience. Our time on this earth is very limited. 90 to 100 years max on average? Out of how many generations have been on this earth? We all live to about 100 if we're lucky. I heard of a friend that died at 40 not too long ago. Just think of it. Our time is limited. And we've got to make this experience on this earth the best we can encounter, live, enjoy as best we can. Can you imagine what it was like when I was a young lad, about 14, going to one of my sister's wedding, and we were going round a bend in Scotland, a place called Dunkeld, Dunkeld, on the A9 from Inverness to Edinburgh. We were going down to the Midlands. But just as I was about to put my head down to go to sleep, because it was a long drive, I looked at the dashboard, saw the speedo going 30, going down to 25, to 20, to 15. And it was going gradually. We're coming up to a big bend. Next second, roll over, roll over, roll over. Over 100 feet drop. We rolled down. We're in a Zephyr 4. And literally, the front of the car roof was sitting on the dashboard. And the blessing was, my dad was tall, my mother was very short. My dad was driving without seatbelts because it wasn't law in those particular days in England to wear seatbelts. They're optional. We had them, but they didn't use them. My mum swapped places with my dad. My dad swapped places with my mum. And the three of us in the back with the dog all tossed about. We got out with one scratch. The dog had scratched one of my sisters on her tummy, a little scratch, just a little, not major or anything, just a little scratch. The car was a write-off. If mum and dad were wearing seatbelts at the time, my dad's legs would have been crushed. His head would have been, he'd have been dead. The fact they swapped seats, and I can still remember that roll. And I think, we are so blessed. You know, it's amazing. Hang on 1 second, whilst he's saying, oh, Cece. Thanks, Cece. But you see, the point I'm trying to make is, that was horrific. And what happens when you climb back up onto the road and this woman comes hurtling down and says, is my gate blocked? Is my gate blocked? Because it was a big car and it was landed upside down. I think it was 135 feet we'd actually rolled. And my first thing was, when I'm nervous, I've got to eat. I was a kid, for goodness sake. I had a high metabolic rate. And I still remember saying to everybody, anybody want anything to eat? My mum just cracked up. She says, Graham, you are always hungry. And everybody laughed. We just got out of a major accident. The car was a write-off. The front was smashed down. And we all survived. And by my action, saying, anybody want anything to eat? Because we've got food in the back of the truck, back of the car, in the boot. We say trunk in the US. In the boot. And I've got apples out. Anybody want an apple? But I made light of the situation because we were all safe. Other times, the emotional baggage I carried with me was painful. losing my first wife in a divorce, losing my second one in a divorce, being an alcoholic, always drunk. My family for years said, "You're an alcoholic, you're an alcoholic." It took me a long time to realise I was. I'm not proud of what I was, but because I went through it, I can now help other people. I had a lady in Cocoa that sat for reading with me because I was at Cocoa Beach last weekend on Sunday. And this lady had a problem. And the first thing I saw was me drinking a beer, one after the other. And I knew it was my memories coming up. And I said to the lady, "I'm going to ask you one question. It's a yes or no answer. Do you admit you have a problem?" Not hello, how you doing? What can I do for you? This is my first opening gambit to her. Do you admit you have a problem? Yes or no? And she looked at me. She took a deep breath and went, "Yes." I said, "Good. Now we can get somewhere." By the time we finished, 15 minutes later, she saw who she was. Not who she thought she was, but who she really was. An alcoholic. And because I could tell her what it was like to recover, because I could tell her what I'd done, how much money I'd wasted, how many friendships I'd lost, and pain to my family, she hadn't thought of that. She actually sat down after we talked, went over, and started writing other things. Because I said to her, "Yeah, go and write a list of things that you think you're doing, and then go and ask your family, is this right? Is this right? Is this right?" And before she left, she had a full page of things that she thought. You see, baggage comes in many different forms. And also people have thought about ancestral baggage in your DNA, in your past. And if you're spiritualist like me and a medium or anything to do with spirit, you understand this terminology. Spiritual baggage. But I've found out the only baggage you carry is that which you wish to carry or allow to carry. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll stick it in the back. Heck no. I want my back to be totally clear. I want to be able to lay down without any lumps, figuratively speaking. Because unwanted baggage has to be moved. You have to empty the case. You can't just take the case off and put it away. It's still there. You've got to open the case, look inside it, and literally take each thing that you remember, you can see, you can feel, you can hear, you can taste, take it all out. And the pain, I can tell you, is real in your heart. But also the pain in your heart says that your heart is in the process of healing. Imagine, if you will, this is your heart. This is your heart. Then something happens. It's gone. Half of it's disappeared. And your heart starts to do this, starts to close, trying to make a ball again. And that's the pain that you're feeling, figuratively. That is the pain. And when it gets complete, it goes back up again. Think about it. Just think about it. Your heart is healing straight away. That is the pain you feel. But those of you that do not allow that pain to be understood, to be faced, it's like this for a long time. Trying its hardest to heal. That pain will last a long time if you allow it to be stuck. That's your unwanted baggage. This piece here. The open heart. As soon as you face that open heart and then you allow it to close, then it becomes whole again. Where's the pain? That baggage is then dealt with. You know, none of us are perfect. If you think you're perfect, I'd like to meet you. We're perfectly imperfect, each and every one of us. We're individuals. I'm not perfect, but I'm perfectly me. I had a surprise today. My wife says, "Why don't you go to England, Graham?" Oh, can we afford it? And as it turned out, yeah. As it turned out, the dates I picked were perfect for my family in England. I'm going to see my grandkids for the first time. That's been bugging me for a very long time, that I met my grandchildren. I just couldn't afford it. Now I can, because of the work I've been putting in and saving money as best I can. My brother's involved, my sisters are involved, my children are involved. It's just amazing. I'm getting rid of that heartache, that emptiness of not knowing physically my family. I've been here 22 years. It's bugged me that I've got a lot of money. But Spirit always have provided what I needed. Not what I wanted, what I needed. There's a heck of a difference. And by my wife just looking at me quite simply and said, "Go to England." Why? As soon as you can. I'm getting to be 70 years old this year. I'm not a spring chicken. But I'm not infirm. I've got a lot of faculties that I've seen people a lot younger than me having trouble to breathe, to move, to walk, to see, to feel. All those things that we all go through as we get older. I have my problems. Borderline Crohn's. I have sleep apnea that I'm reversing by constantly watching what I'm breathing. I breathe very deep and very long breaths because I didn't want to drown on a warship. My record was holding my breath was 5 minutes, 13 seconds. I don't want to do that anymore because I don't have to go to sea anymore. But other things that I have encountered, I went into a shop today and I experienced PTSD. I was in Northern Ireland and the guy was with me and he was walking alongside my left side and we had this and a cracking sound. It was bone. He got shot on his right leg, right next to my left leg. That sound has stuck in me ever since the 70s, Northern Ireland. And this young girl in the shop today was popping her fingers, cracking them. I'm not going to do it. And that sound was almost perfectly pitched to the same one I remember. And my face went white and I nearly felt sick. Well, I did feel sick. I was nearly sick. Instantly, there's no shortness. It's just, I hear the sound, ooh, PTSD. It's something that won't go. I've faced it so many times. I understand what it is. It's nothing I could have done. I survived. My friend lost his leg, but he survived. In fact, he said, what made me save my life was watching you taking your hat off, taking your jacket off, kicking your boots away, zigging, zagging, going back and forth. He said it was like a cartoon watching you avoid the sniper that shot him. He didn't realize he'd been shot in the leg and a serious injury. But when he saw me diving over the jetty end, over the ship, into the water, and then coming back up in the jetty, other people had got to him and tied his leg up with a tourniquet. The fact he was concentrating on me saved his life. And that's why I am happy. All the things I did helped save his life. I'd watch cartoons. That's not unwanted baggage. That's a happier memory that I, by my actions, saved somebody's life. I want to save you from carrying unwanted baggage. Write down what makes you angry. Write down what makes you sad. Write down what faults you've got. Who did what to you? How did you repay them? And remember this, if you feel anger at somebody for what they're doing, not necessarily to you, but doing something you don't agree with, and you want to, you can't do that. Take a step back and say, why am I angry for their actions, for what they're doing? Not directly at me, not physically at me. Why am I angry at them? You lose it sometimes. You get very angry at somebody's words or actions. You say, I told you don't do that. Why are you angry? They're doing it, not you. There's something in your past that you haven't faced. And I really think this is part of shifting the baggage. But you've got to face it. You've got to empty the bag. And the more you face of your past, the stronger you become emotionally and physically. Because if you're, I'm miserable because of what I did and what's been done to me and what they're going to do to me, and you see I'm sitting, miserable. Your body doesn't want to move. Well, you don't know what it's like when your legs don't work properly. You don't know what it's like when your back hurts. Well, I've got a curved spine. My spine goes in and out at the front here. I joined the Navy at 5'10" and a half. 14 years later, I left at 5'8". Yeah, I lost 2.5 inches. In fact, nearly 3. But since I've been over here, I've had a teeter-totter inverter board, and I've regained the height. I did things in the forces I'm not proud of, but I was under orders and did what I needed to do. I regret bitterly some of the things I had to do. I chose to join the Navy to get experience, to get paid, to travel. I did. But I faced everything that I did. And I look back and say, well, you can't change it. You're still here, and people can talk about whatever they want to talk about. And I've got a pretty good idea. I've experienced some part of it, if not faced it. Your baggage is not needed. When you go on a plane, what do? You pack things up that you're not going to use straight away. You put them in a big bag, put it on a plane, I'll pick it up later. When you get to the destination, you open that bag, you empty it physically. But you know what's in that bag. But the only way to do that with unwanted baggage is to face it, to go into it, to work it out. In fact, it's quite funny with my stepdaughters. One of them, she keeps on coming over, sometimes with her husband, sometimes with the family. Can I borrow a bag, Dad? A suitcase. I say, you've got to leave me and your mum at least one each. And the small ones as well. Okay, that's all we've got now. We used to have a lot of suitcases. I'm trying to make light of it because, folks, the unwanted baggage is your strength. And you don't know you've got the strength until you face it. I'm more physical at 69 than I was at 40. Seriously. I may need to have a dose because the temperature here in Florida is 93 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can't work in that heat for very long. But the whole point of what I'm trying to share with you is nothing is impossible when you know yourself. Your strength is in you. And who you are, I just can't. The best analogy is having a tap or a hose pipe, God knows. Full of water, it's turned off at the nozzle. It's full of water. And if you put kinks in it and you release the nozzle so the water comes out, and a kink in it, it's not going to come out very well, is it? The more you straighten out your past, the more you straighten out the hose, the more power comes out of that nozzle, out of your mouth, out of your being. You're stronger when you don't have anything blocking it. This is the show Dare to Dream. And my mother So there it is. That picture there, the dream catcher, Dare to Dream. Last gift she gave me. I look at it with pride. Not the fact it's the last gift my mother ever physically gave me, but something she put her heart into to give to me. I'm living my dream, not dare to dream. I'm living it. The show Dare to Dream is for you. Dare you dream of freedom. Dare you dream of being whole. Dare you dream of moving, shifting that unwanted baggage. I want you to think about it, because in a couple of minutes we're going to go for a short break. But I do want you to think about what's holding me back. Why am I always thinking of the past and feel angry or sad or emotional? You need to look into yourself, my friends. You're never alone. And I'm not being flippant when I say you've got me, myself, and I. Body, mind, and spirit. Think about it. Think about what that means. You're an individual going through life on your own on a limited time. Are you happy with your life? If you're not, what's holding you back? Facing yourself truly and being honest with yourself fully and facing all that baggage that you've got there. Remember, who assisted you to put the baggage there in the first place? Whose opinion put you there? Yourself or somebody else or many people? If you make a mistake, say, yeah, I did it. I made a mistake, but I'm here now to correct it as best I can. And if they all go away, you've done your best. Leave me alone. Oh, that's fine. I just want to say I'm sorry. I'll walk away. Other people's opinions only matter when you ask for them. If they give you an opinion that you didn't ask for, just say thanks, goodbye. Oh, no, thank you. Because other people's opinions don't matter. It's how you respond to them. I know it took many years for my family to realize I'm no longer the alcoholic. But because I can remember them saying, you'll always be an alcoholic then. Yes, they're correct. I always will be. But the last drop of alcohol touching my lips was the morning of the 1st of January, 2002, at like 2 seconds into the year. I had a mouthful of Liefremilch, white wine from Germany. I put it in my mouth and spat it out. It tasted horrible. My wife did the same. We weren't married at the time. She was my fiancée. And that was the last drop of alcohol touching my lips. So yeah, I'm an alcoholic. I recovered alcoholic. But I'll always be an alcoholic. I drink a heck of a lot of liquid. Now it's water or the juices that I actually produce and make myself. I don't believe in natural flavored drinks and sodas or anything. I don't believe in them. Artificial flavors, man-made chemicals. No thanks. I'm healthier now than I've ever been because I quit everything that's artificial as best I can. The unwanted baggage for me was, am I going to end up fat? Am I going to end up with varicose veins? Am I going to be old and decrepit, not be able to move? Because I've seen a lot of relatives getting older and not being very fit. I surprise people when I tell them I'm 69. They go, yeah. And when they see Sandy, my wife, you're not that age. She's younger than me. But she looks a hell of a lot younger than me. Because age is a number. The body, we look after as best we can. But the mind is what helps you have that strength and that freedom. Right, we're just about to go into that break. I want you to think about writing stuff down. We'll be back shortly. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying with us. And I hope some of you have actually sat down and did some writing or going to do some writing. I'm your host of Dare to Dream. The topic today is shifting unwanted baggage. I'm Graham Williamson. I'm an international intuitive, evidential medium psychic, and this is my show. I'm on every 2 weeks. My next show will be May the 13th, but the show after that, the 29th, I'm afraid it will be a recording because I'm going to England. But the whole point of my shows is about variety. It's about spirit. It's about well-being. It's about health. I'm no medical professional in any shape or form. Not qualified even to diagnose or anything. I wouldn't even think of that. But when you eat well, when you drink well, when you take time for yourself and those that you love, even those people that are caregivers for people who are seriously ill or infirmed, even some of those who are dying, you've got to look after yourself as well, because you can't look after anybody properly if you're not well. Excuse me. And feeling guilty about somebody dying, feeling guilty about whatever makes you sad or embarrassed or ashamed, think about it. Can you change the past? No, you can't. Can you change the moment? Yes. Can you change the future? Yes, by the moment. I don't predict futures when I do readings. I choose not to. I have done a couple of times in the past to verify that it's possible to clients. But I do not predict future when I do readings. And on my show, please, if you enjoy it, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Because the more you subscribe, the more this show gets weight and other people can get to see it on all the different media that we have. But if you go to newsstreamnetwork.com, go in bold media, there. If you go to any of that, it will lead you to all my shows that have been pre-recorded and other people. There's some great presenters and hosts. I've never had a guest on my show because I'm so unpredictable. But a lot of the hosts do have guests. I am literally spontaneous. I don't think consciously what I need to say. I trust my guides spiritually to give you the information. And being an international intuitive, evidential medium and psychic all my life, I've got to trust my guides pretty good. They know my limitation. They know their limitation. I've experienced negative spirit, but when I found out what the negative spirit was about, on one occasion, it turned out he was a miner. He didn't know he'd died. And all he was trying to do is get somebody to listen. And as soon as I realized that and made him aware that, hang on, mate, you're not alive. It's called rescue mediumship. And this guy had lived for 75 years, something like that at the time. This is back in the 70s. So he died in the 40s in a mine accident. But he didn't know. And he'd haunted a house all that time. His baggage was his past. It was trapped in his head, in his persona. You see, if you don't resolve all your issues before you pass over, you're going to have a lot of time to work it out on the other side. Because your spirit reflects your energy. Your energy is you. You can look at people in this world. You know straight away, are they happy? Are they sad? Are they moving or are they not? Are they angry? Bouncy? What emotions are they showing? You can pick it up straight away, just looking at them. So remember, if you're looking at them and you see all these emotions, and they look at you, and you've got all this unwanted baggage, they're going to say, what's wrong with you? Why are you miserable? Why have you got this sadness around you? Why are you angry? They're going to be asking you questions all the time. You can either face it or run away or bottle it up like you have been doing for all these years. Emotions are meant to be experienced. Seeing somebody die is something I don't want to see again. Seeing a dead body is something I don't want to see again. Shooting somebody is something I don't want to see again. All these things I've experienced in my past whilst I was in the forces. In those car accidents. I got a new car out of one of them because it was a city dumpster, trash lorry in England, in Dartmouth. I was going down the corner, he laid grit down on the road. I was doing 6 miles an hour going around the bend. He threw down the grit. My car was lightweight. It skidded on this grit before it even got into the ice. I hit the wall and wrecked my car off. I got a new car out of it. All paid for by the city because the guy had cameras. In them days, that was rare. But I remember saying, oh, it's like an accident. I remember my sister's wedding. I survived that as well. I've been in another one where 2 buses took the back end of my car away. Whew. You see, all these things are still in my mind, but I face them. I accept them. I can't change it, but I accept it. There's nothing I can do to change that fact. The only thing I can change is what I feel from it. Do I sit there and go, oh, I wish I could have done this. Oh no, I should have done that. Should have done. No. Woulda, coulda, shoulda does not work, my friends. It's what you do now for your future. I don't want you to carry that baggage anymore. Or at least start emptying that bag. Empty that suitcase. If you've made faults with people and you've upset them by your actions, you wish you could have done something, go and see them and say, I'm sorry. Whether they accept it or not, if it's coming from your heart, you're doing the best you can now for you as well as a recipient. Don't wait until the last minute. You know, as I said, life is too short. We're here for a blink of an eye in the age of this earth. Millions of years this earth's been here. We're just passing phase. As I said, we're spirit having a human experience for a limited time. And if you're carrying baggage and it's holding you back in the growth of emotion, love, understanding of who you are, think about it. What you're doing to yourself. You're holding yourself back by carrying this baggage. It's important to stand up and face yourself. I have a joke with people when they come and sit down and say, we're seeing you, you're always smiling, you're always happy. My wife calls me the comedic medium, unofficially. I said, do you know why I'm happy? No. I said, I look in the mirror every morning, bald head, need a bit of a shave sometimes, white hair, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm laughing. God's got a sense of humor, I say, from my heart. I think God made me the way I am so I could have a good laugh with myself or at myself in a good way. My wife loves who I am, so I can't be ugly for her. My nature is to be happy, not, oh, I'm living in cloud cuckoo land, yeah, up in the clouds. No, I'm a realist. My feet are grounded. I actually am barefoot. I love going out, standing on the grass. My wife taught me that. Ground yourself. The feeling of the earth in your feet on your feet or in running water, cleansing, spa bath with mineral salts. Drain all that negativity out of your body. But it's the mind I'm on about, the emotional mind, the subconscious. Think about all those things that I've said a couple of times in the show. Do you want to carry all this around with you for the rest of your life? And don't tell me, oh, you don't understand what it's like, the pain I feel, and all the things that happened. Yeah, that happened, past tense. You can send somebody a letter. Have you ever thought about handwriting a letter to somebody and saying, sorry? If I've done something wrong, I'm sorry. Hope you can find it in your heart to at least acknowledge this, or forgive me, or both. But you've also got to write it to yourself. Forgive yourself. You can't change the past, but you can forget the past as a holding bag, a big bag that's trapping you. The weight that you carry with you every single day, every night. Drinking out of a bottle, drinking out of a glass, all that alcohol. I hid from my past for a long time. The show's about to end in a couple of minutes. But I hope what I've shared with you will help. Now, if you want to get hold of me, there's a couple of ways you can do it. I have an email address, 2 of them. The first one, a medium77@gmail.com. That's my spiritual one that I use a lot. Or you can contact me on the telephone. It's Florida, USA, 352-409-1060. Leave a voice message, because if you don't, I will not acknowledge the phone. And if I can help you, I will. Or you can write to my other email, thebrit77@hotmail.com. That's my everyday email. I'm here to help you. I'm on Facebook Messenger. Look for Graham Williamson. You can see my face up in the corner there. Or on the video, of course. If I can help you, I will. I live in Lake County, Central Florida, 50 miles north of Orlando approximately, and 50 miles approximately from Daytona. I'm a medium, empathic. I'm a psychic, clairvoyant, clairaudient, and all the rest of it. I don't know what gifts will be needed to assist you. I trust my guides to help you to the best of my ability. And I hope you'll realize, again, my next show is May 13th. It'll be a live recording, hopefully. Thank you. And the next one, the 29th, I will be recording it because I'll be in England visiting family. But I want to thank you for watching. As I say, enjoy, like, share, comment, subscribe to goingboldmedia.com on, WGSN. Please. Yeah, thanks, Silveria. WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. TV, podcast, radio. And I'm your host, Reverend Graham Williamson. I want to say thank you again. See you in a couple of weeks. And have a beautiful, carefree, baggage gone life. Blessings and good night.